my god, we have Obs back. Kind of. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. As you can see, we're having a wonderful time with Obs tonight.
Always.
Even worse than normal. It's worth how much we paid for it. I shouldn't make jokes like that. I mean, there's a lot of programmers who put in a lot of good time and effort on Obs, but sometimes it's just... Anyway, we're about ready to go back into Palace of the Dead. Floor 50, right?
Yep. 51.
51, I would think.
Rye?
Yeah?
You have the honors.
Oh, your lead.
The heck you say?
I see. I apologize tonight, guys, if my voice sounds a little raspy or coughy. I had kind of an allergy attack about an hour before the stream would start, which I'm not exactly happy about, but it is what it is. Oh, look, we start out with a mimic! Woohoo!
I'll put that on the counter.
Oh, joy!
Eh?
The counters aren't working.
Let's not worry about it.
Here's something for you.
A trap.
So, did that help? I opened a silver for you.
Nope,
Since we're
the
doing
arms
it tonight.
remains unchanged.
Really?
Too low.
Oh, yeah, we're at 50, not 150. Yeah, you'll get a lot of that.
Where is it? Ow. Landmine.
I'd say
So
work
I
an
see.
explosion if you could.
Titan's like, I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna get there. He's not here anymore. I'm out of here.
What a lousy gig.
Yeah.
I got called on to kill a monster, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
Ooh, it's silver. Should I touch it?
Yes.
Aether pool
Your health is
unchanged.
You'll get a lot of that at this level, sadly.
Yeah.
Your ether pool level is still higher than the level number. You'll get a lot of failures.
Here's the exit.
On my way to the exit.
Oh,
A serenity that we can't use.
yeah, we can use it. It just won't do anything.
Yeah, well. Now it changes.
Really? Well, then mark that exclusion from last level if you didn't.
Okay,
Any
we've
help?
had
Auto heal disabled.
one mimic and one explosion, or any more
Yes.
than that?
One of each. Get anything out of that latest silver? Or
Nope.
Serenity? Let's
Yes.
feel serene.
Yes. Yes. Serenity.
Have that? Okay. Yeah, I feel better already. And Anubis.
Yeah, the reason why we're touching silvers this time is during the week, unchanged. I went and
slightly more likely.
spent some of my Aether pool buying some Aether weapons in order to try and get a title. Which is why my Aether pool is not maxed at 99.
Yes. But it's still in like the 70s. And
Actually, there it's the 80s now.
Okay.
81, 82.
About level 80, then your odds of getting anything out of the silvers will remain low.
Intuition.
Wait.
Serenity.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually can use that one here. Fortune. There it is.
Exit.
Of course, now we can't
Okay.
use the fortune, but oh well.
Yeah, well, it beats wasting it.
Hello, Foxfire.
Fire.
Yes!
Nah, we don't need to see the cinematic. We've seen it
Oh,
before. We'll
fine.
see it again. We've seen it before, and we will see it again.
See it again. Oh, crap!
Uh-oh. Oh, we have a toad trap!
Second toad trap we've had today. Ow.
Oh, that's the second one? I need to...
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. That's the second one Kay has hit tonight.
Okay, toad traps! 4, 5. We are up to 5 toad traps!
Ha 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 ha.
Mimic.
Indeed.
And another mimic!
And the
And
ring.
delivering. Nice show.
I am just bad luck for us today, aren't I?
No, you're bad luck for you. We've been unaffected.
Exit is not here. That's dead end.
Not dead end, and there's the exit in the next room.
Fortune!
Doesn't really matter.
So, in interesting news of the week, first off, I assume folks have been hearing about the game Forspoken by Square Enix that was released a little bit ago. It has not been doing well. The writing isn't as bad as the marketing let you think it was. Ow!
Ow?
Ow!
Did something
What
blow up
happened?
on you?
Explosion trap. Oh, horde. You got it.
Got it.
Sight! Ow!
Steal.
I'm only laughing because I'm missing all of these.
And I'm the one tripping them all.
Yeah,
You
the
realize that's supposed to
studio,
be my job.
due to poor performance, is being shut down. However, no one is being fired. They are all being merged back into Square Enix. Now, this makes
I-
sense
Here.
because the studio specialized using the Luminous engine,
Hmm.
which is what FF14 and FF16 are running on. So having people who already know the engine and being folded into those two groups, or maybe starting a new project under Yoshi P as opposed to their original business division, might be the way to go for them. After all, left to their own devices, they kind of made a cluster. How much of a cluster, you say? Well, the prime writing credits was for someone who came up with the initial concept. Oh, we have a rage! Pardon me. Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, I need to kill something. If someone could go back and get that,
Rage of pain.
yeah. The main writer had all their work effectively canned, but still got credit for the questionable writing.
Ooh.
Even though they were not responsible for it in the slightest.
It's open. I'll be there in just a second. Almost ran over another trap.
Yeah,
Don't do it again until it happens.
there were a lot of issues with that game. I'm just looking for something to smack around. I'll be with you in a second. Strength, Tay.
All right.
Hey, Octi.
Hey, Octi.
So that was the first news that came out of Square Enix this week. Having that all folded in. The second, more impressive. Did anyone check these chests? Too late.
I hope so.
Is the fact that the CEO of Square Enix is stepping down.
Witching and sight.
Yeah, you guys can deal with the site. I'm killing things.
Ooh, I almost ran over another trap. Passage is active.
Strength, Fry.
Okay.
So yeah, Mr. NFT is stepping down.
Excellent.
I can't say I'm crying over that one.
No.
Respawn right on top.
Watch that trap. Serenity I needed. Well, they've probably already got things in the works, and they don't want to cancel projects outright when they've already got movement.
On the other hand, it means there will be less temptation to start sticking into NFTs into things that don't already have them, which was the concern, the long-term concern.
Yeah.
I think that's a four-corner there. And that's a mimic.
Well, it was a mimic.
Yep, that's a four-corner room. Good thing the exit's not in there.
We can take them.
Controller's coming back.
open.
Sort them out.
It's open.
Other news. Well, maybe after this.
He's being confused, isn't he?
Uh-oh.
Come into range, you fool! Come back into range, you
For a moment, I
fool!
was thinking him. Oh, it's me again.
Woohoo!
He's very confused. Wow, the unload actually got me to the top of aggro for a moment.
We were all...
And I didn't.
The aggrometers were all over the place there, let's be honest.
And I didn't even do embolden. So, other news, one of the old great comics that started the 80s black and white boom was ElfQuest, which is still going in various forms today, though Faye and I haven't paid attention to it in decades. There is currently a Humble Bundle for the PDF versions of the Dark Horse releases of the graphic novel.
They're just kind of melting, aren't they?
Yes, they do that at this level. For the low price of $1, you can have a graphic novel form of the original series.
Did you hit another explosion?
Yeah, blue chest this time.
Still counts. Yep. And it's something like $18 to get everything in PDF graphic novel.
That's an executive.
So is this Tyrannosaurus.
Oh.
Ow!
Usually I'm the one setting all of these off, and yeah, I'm not even there for them.
Weenie
But,
heal!
yeah.
God, that barely did anything.
Nice.
Strength, that's yours.
Which doesn't really matter now. We are not our usual classes.
Room full of mimics.
Oh,
But thankfully we don't actually have to go in that direction.
Rage! Let me set up. Actually, right here. Hello, Mr. Sarkasukas. Bye, Mr. Sarkasukas. Sure we don't want to take care of that room full of mimics?
Well, we might have to.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
have to. Do 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 do.
Yeah, just wait around long enough and the frame will go by again.
There they are. Ow! Another landmine.
Yes, I noticed.
And another rage.
Let me go.
Yeah,
Set up.
you guys go.
There's the landmine.
Those rages, or are you still checking that one?
Wow, there are 2 rages in this room.
Yeah.
Okay, popping an early rage because we've got a patroller I'm gonna smack.
Right, grabbed it.
Yeah.
Just 3 rages in this
You
floor.
get a smack, and you get a smack, and you get a smack.
Like, Faith in, schmack!
Yeah.
No, they kind of just lumber along, but holy moly. Do they hit hard. Also,
So,
I think
yeah,
everyone noticed the fun with odds and the fact that we no longer have
Yeah.
our bouncing,
Portrait.
avatars.
Wow.
Oh,
I
look,
just
the
like
exit
the-
room.
Yeah, this is unfortunately being a button.
I just linked. Oh. And ribbit. My first trap of the evening. I was so overdue.
Yeah, I just realized. I need a dance partner. It's as bad as stance.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a turn.
Fortune, we still have to kill things.
So I linked the bundle, and like I said, the base version is basically 2 graphic novels for $1.
Right,
The
that's
main
your
one
strength.
Is,
Grab that.
ah,
That's a safety.
is the original series in all of its originally black and white glory. That series has had like 3 different color jobs. Unfortunately, you can't get a hold of the best one. Because it was originally done in color for graphic novels done in the early 80s. All hand painted. I think the first volume was Wendy Peeney and the rest were Jane Fancher.
Might have been. I know she. Well, Jane kind of assisted on everything late in.
Once they got going.
That
yeah.
one's yours.
Of which, do you know where Jane Fancher is?
Yes, I do.
If there was any love story to make a book out of, that would be the one.
Jane Fancher, I think, probably
Found the
got in
exit.
on it through Dawning
It's a 4-corner
Starblaze. Because Dawning Starblaze did the original
Yeah.
graphic novel. And she did other stuff for Dawning Starblaze, including the art and color for a series of graphic novels that were adapting C.J. Cherryh's novel Gate of His Realm. Sadly, because of the disappearance of Starblaze, only 2 of the graphic novels were done, and by my estimate, it would have taken 5 to get the entire novel done. Wow. Just comparing how far through the book those 2 volumes have gotten. But anyway, so yeah, they got to know each other as they talked over the book, and Fancher started figuring out what she was going to do for the graphic novel adaptation. You want to pick it up from there?
And that was the last we heard of them until later on I get this notice of them getting married. It's like, oh my god, that's so adorable.
Yeah, apparently those 2 really hit it off. And in
They're now
fact,
both in Washington and
Okay.
being very old and cranky together. It's adorable.
And of course, the latest CJ Cherry novel was co-written by Thatcher. My problems with CJ Cherry's ratings are not as strong as how like Dave will express it, but her writing did have some problems, and I kind of picked it up in the hope that Jane would be.
Someone picked this up. Do, like that really matters. I'm going to smack this Sarcosuchus. And this Sarcosuchus. And this Croc.
Ow! Landmine. My first one of the
Fantastic
night.
active.
Okay, heading back to the exit. Got 31
respawn
seconds on
here.
rage.
Got a respawn heading towards you.
No, he's not.
And he dropped sight.
Ignore.
15 seconds.
Yeah,
Not gonna get much.
Nah.
Yeah, the Channer books are some of my favorites. My two main favorite books by her are Pride of Channer and Gate of Israel. And I kind of bounced off of Gate of Israel the first time I read it. And then I saw the graphic novel, which kind of explained the beginning enough for me to figure it out better. And then I loved both the graphic novel and the board. Her general Union Alliance novels are generally good, but fall a bit short of great as far as I'm concerned. But there's lots of good ideas in them.
Please go.
I mean, everyone has different points in writing
Yeah.
of what they
But
like and what they
anyway,
dislike.
I was kind of hoping that Jane Fancher might even out some of the personal side of the books, which is where Cherry kind of has problems. And at first the answer was no, but it got better during the second half. I think that's where she started co-writing. So I have high hopes for the next book to come out.
Safety! Because you know there'll be one right next to the exit.
Usually is.
There we
It
go.
is now.
Steel!
Somebody else take that.
I think that's either yours or,
Could be your
I'll take
eyes.
it. Done.
done and done.
Yeah, for CJ Cherry, outside of Pride of Channer and Gate of Israel, which I do consider her two strongest older books, Heavy Time is one of her strongest. It's in her main universe, which actually the other two books also are. Fairly early, and kind of the center point for her universe is a Hugo Award-winning novel called Down Below Station. Which is kind of the climax of the main war that kind of forms the backbone of what, even all the other books are kind of belonging to. Heavy Time is kind of as the war is getting going, and is actually dealing in the asteroid belt of the solar system. one that just came out is Alliance Rising, which I think is the earliest set book in the series. Yes, stop that.
Or this floor.
But not this room.
It's the previous room.
It's only 3 rooms. It's kind of easy to find.
And a rage.
Oh, and I've rage here too.
Finally, the silence goes off.
Someone grab this rage here.
That's fun to put it next to the water cooler.
Placed for your convenience. Your smacking convenience.
And you get smack. And you
Now,
get
blind
smack.
men before coming through.
Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. I said excuse me. These people don't listen, do they? 14. Eight, 5, 4, 2, not gonna make it. Sight. Wrong way. Exit be
Depends
open.
on where I'm going.
So I write it. So last week, between things, I started poking and writing up a small little like design doc and synopsis of like if I wrote a game, this would be my first one. And I'm looking at going, I think my scope is too big.
Easy to do. That's it. Follow me.
Bahamut says no.
The fact that I'm actually capable of grabbing aggro at all is resume is kind of impressive.
I think I needed a steal.
You could have just stopped casting for a couple of seconds.
But
Trust me,
my
aggro will
uptime!
You'll have even less if you die.
I know. Dead DPS is 0 DPS. But yeah, I'm looking at this doc going, okay, this is a good idea for a game. I think the scope might be too big for a first project. Knowing your scope is kind of important.
Now, the other bit of news past ElfQuest is the fact that this is the 15th anniversary of Gary Gygax's death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And his thing, if it wasn't for him and Dave Ernison, I don't think we'd be playing this. It would, at the very
That's
least,
just
look a
active.
lot different.
mind flares. Not mind flares.
That too. Alteration.
Yeah, passage is out of the way.
Freaking friends!
Oh, it didn't grab. Dang it. So long for it to register. I have this in here to deal with.
I'm just gonna sit here on the water cooler. So, Topi, how's that weather? Who's a good carbuncle? Yes, you're a good carbuncle.
Well, as playing playing the world points out, all the concepts of hit points and levels and classes all come out of D&D. Non-RPG computer games have a lot of concepts that come out of D&D.
We can sprint disable.
Worked somewhere.
Big boys.
Oh, very good.
Damn, stupid bear.
Of course, for various D&D monsters, yeah, we have some rather unusual people to thank, like the makers of cheap Chinese plastic dinosaur sets.
Which obviously look like rip-offs of, kaiju.
Some of them, yeah. I have no idea where they came up with what became the Rust Monster.
I think that was a former bad kaiju.
Complete with the propeller.
Including with the propeller. That is so kaiju.
Yay, live swing.
Hello, live swing. Oh man, my throat is really feeling it. Ah. Yeah, but an hour before the stream started, we were coming home from dinner, and I went to pull into our parking slot, and the car sucked in all our neighbors' recreational chemistry, which I'm allergic to. I'm feeling better now, but my throat is a mess.
Yeah.
So, if I suddenly stop talking or my throat sounds very scratchy, that's why.
Passage is active.
Fortunately, okay. Thank you for popping that. On my way.
Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable. TM.
Rage.
Next to the water
Let's
cooler.
go!
Working.
Yeah, it just all got sucked straight up into the cabin. It's like, ugh. And I was driving at the time. Ooh, a flight. Come here, Mr. Bandersnatch. You too, Mr. Bear.
message is active. It's to the north.
Whoa, that could be dangerous.
Steal.
Somebody else can take it.
Stealing. I'll get the one near the bottom since I'm here already.
Okay.
Ooh, 2 down here.
That we need them.
Two sites, no waiting. Yeah, apparently the new guy who's going to be the SEO of Square Enix is this, like, 27-year-old. I forget his name, but it's like, okay, I need to do research. Who are you? I mean, he's probably someone who's been in the company and being groomed for the position, knowing how Japanese companies tend to work, but I can't say. It's like, here's the photo of the new guy, and it's like, my god, is this kid, has he even gone through college yet?
Oh dear.
I mean, talk about
Wait.
a young face.
Or this floor. Serenity to read.
So we'll see how the company shakes out with that.
There it goes. Or it's probably the last room. There it is. And a luring trap, because why not?
You look bubbly.
All that for purity? Meh. Oh, hello, Mr. Respawn. Goodbye, Mr. Respawn.
Head to the exit.
Running. But yeah, that's mostly the news this week, which there was other news, but oh, wrong way. It's not really worth anyone's time unless you like eating popcorn.
Really?
No abilities. Boo. Plus to need.
Not at the moment.
The exit. Incoming or outgoing bird. I can fix that.
Operation. Fast is active.
Light.
Already used it.
No, you used alteration.
Oh. You're...
Ow!
How did I not hit that?
I don't know. I wish you had. Huh. Crunchyroll Anime Awards were given out last night. Anime of the Year went to Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah, that's a
That's
Netflix one. I've heard pretty good things about it, but I've also heard about some misgivings to it as well. Basically, it goes so fast it's hard to actually see and understand the characters.
Oh dear. Seems like there's been a couple of things that we've seen that are actually within the last year that probably yet are not, but I'm trying to think of what our recent stuff is as opposed to the stuff that we're just now getting to.
Mimic!
Mimic!
Got a room full of mimics.
I think just one.
Got a room full of one mimic.
Yeah! That's a
Room
big
for
mimic.
mimic.
Yeah, the recent ones that we've been watching is, of course, Trigun, Stampede,
True.
Nier
that'd be
Automata.
two years of the reward. So with that, we'd want things, like a season or two back. Aside Anime of the Years of the year 2022.
Yeah, of course, we're still watching, Golden Kamuy, though that's
Yeah.
kind of on hiatus at the moment. I will need to double check on that. I am not that pleased with Crunchyroll's new current interface. It's not very friendly on if you've hit the end of something that's in one of their language categories,
Yeah,
but they
we're trying
have
to
other
talk-
languages, so what will happen is they'll try to forward to the next language choice instead of stopping and waiting and staying on the language you've already stuck with.
Well, the problem is they set it all up as seasons. Ow.
Was that an explosion?
Yes, it was.
By the way, we're up to 11 explosion traps.
Yeah. I think I'm the last 3. But what they do is they set everything up as seasons, so, like the English dub is a season, and the Spanish dub is a season, and so on. So we finish the English dub, and they try to forward to the next season, which is just a separate dub of the same season.
There's a trap right behind you.
I can step on it if you want.
No,
Rage.
please don't.
And Serenity. Let me know when you get to the exit.
We're working on it.
Yeah, had a couple pigmoys. Well, yeah, as long as you're not on the wrong side of it.
Okay, raging.
Let's see. Recent things. Golden Kamuy. Mob Psycho 103.
Yeah, Mob Psycho
That would
103
be a
was.
strong contender for us.
Mwah.
Anime of 2022. It
Yeah.
was really good.
That one was Chef's Kiss. I'm still kind of bummed we cannot get David into that one.
Yeah. Well, I can't exactly blame him. It took me.
No one's checked that chest back there?
No! Landmine.
You go check the landmine while we're in there.
Witching.
Or the chest.
And don't forget to grab that explosion.
Strength. Which we can't use at the moment.
Yep, no items.
Ow.
Don't think I'm gonna make this one. No.
Alright, head to the exit. All these gold chests, we can't do anything with.
tier
old at this
quality.
point.
And not really top tier quality.
No, it's not.
I got his attention. Hi, Boulder. Nope.
I'll get his attention now.
Not fast enough. Ow. He trusts me. I do not want to be anywhere near that Correctus.
Ow.
He does that. Meteor incoming.
Not even close.
Yeah. I think you understand why it worries me. I've seen what his big brother does.
I've probably got one more floor set in the amount of time we got.
Rock. Ah, fall. Okay, so the fall season. Oh no! I can't carry any more elegant tombstones of poetics. First for... Oh, okay, that's going back to 2020. So
Strength.
that'd be fall, so
Okay.
it'd be the right time period.
Give me just a sec.
So, not anime, but animated that top. That would be just barely in the right time period. Arcane. Holy cow, that series was far better than I would have ever guessed.
Yeah, that. It'll be interesting to see what they do for a second season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
expect how they end with that.
Well, I found it interesting that they've affected Riot Studios went in and actually bought out the animation studio after they finished Arcane.
Flight.
Light.
Thank you. And I will pick this up in just a moment. I'm trying to use my Maroon messages.
Are you kidding? We can't spend poetics fast enough.
Well, I can while leveling, but I'm kind of done with that part of leveling now.
Oh, here's a great look. My screen's entirely gray-black because it's right in the smoke
Yeah.
pile.
Yeah, very nearly the same thing.
Give me 1 second. Actually, I'll go the other
Go
way.
the other way.
way.
This is not worth your time.
Ah, there's someone I can kill. Ow!
Explosion.
Landmine.
Freezing, which is already running.
No, it is not. Oh, no, yes,
It
it is.
is.
Yes, it is.
Waiting at exit.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been calling out everything.
That's okay. You don't want to be there. Rye's like,
Ow.
whatever.
Yeah, dragging room.
Yep.
He does that.
It's just a little bit of OBA.
Poof.
As long as it's not 5 eps.
Oh,
I don't think we will ever
Incoming
forget that
Chimera.
floor. And silenced.
Oh man, yesterday I was doing a solo run of Heaven on High. And I got to floor 94. But 93 was evil because I'm running out of palms.
Mimic.
Oh look, a mimic. And I was running out of palms. And I get to the floor and the exit is behind an entire 4-corner room of mimics.
Oh, got that again, huh?
I thankfully was able to open the exit and then just concealed my way through, but there was a chest right next to the exit. I'm desperate for palms and I didn't dare touch it.
the odds of a mimic were too high. Strength.
Yours.
Yeah, yours.
Mine enough.
I was like in tears. If anyone wants to check out that run on floor 90, I actually still have it as a VOD on Twitch. It'll only be there for like 14 days and then it'll go away. But you can hear me literally dying inside as I continue through the 90s.
As you
Bloom,
died
no
outside.
rage, and board this floor site.
Okay, Mr. OBA. No, you don't. I saw you winding up for that. Oh, that fight.
Ow.
Rage.
Yeah, sure, I'll deal with the rage. You, Apollo, come here. Oh, no knockback!
Oh no. I gotcha.
Oops. Probably should have waited that for the floor transition.
Oh well.
Well, that's
I
interesting.
popped
haven't
out of it
really seen that
because-
before. Paulus will do a sacrifice back slam.
Yes.
They usually don't live long enough for me to see that.
Okay, we're out of here. Yeah, we're out of here. I'm not getting that chest. I want to go. I don't like this floor.
I wanna go.
That's yours.
I'm gonna,
Go ahead
I'm
and
gonna
refresh.
use that. Just about
This
to
is
run
the
out.
exit room.
Oh, what does the blue chest bring us?
Oh, crap.
Ow! It brings us a bomb.
This is hurting. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. No! Mark up a KO.
Yeah, you kept pulling him out of my range and killing my casts.
Now, guess what? He killed me when I stopped, so there was a reason I was running.
Oh well, exit's open.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I was picking off one, and at the last moment saw that there was another one headed the opposite way.
Oh.
And of course, the opposite way meant towards me instead of away from me. I
No
ended up
items.
pulling two simultaneously.
Oh, there's a blue chest here. No, there was not a
Ow.
blue chest here.
See the sacrifices I make for you? Oh, don't even bother.
What, my healing that pathetic? Yes, it actually is that pathetic.
Especially compared to what I can do. You heal between 400 and 500. About 3 times that. Switching.
Switching.
And
Not open.
Oh, hello, Mr. Dragon. We would like to have a word with you. Just one word, young dragon. One word. Plastics. Oh, wait, that doesn't make sense.
Oh, hello, Room of Dragons.
It could be full of much worse. Could be mimics.
Don't remind
Chimera
me.
coming in.
Yeah. That also counts as worse. Thankfully, they die fast enough on this level.
Let's...
By the way, have you managed any Aether Pool increases yet?
Not a single one.
Yeah, we are kind of low.
No, no.
We're to the point where they should start happening. Another Chimera coming in. Behind this dragon.
Yeah, I've been suffering in the fact that everything that could have gotten us...
Passage is active.
Yes, it is.
And we have not been seeing, past the beginning spurt, we've not been seeing a lot of silver chests.
And every chest we have seen that was silver exploded.
Well, lately, yes. At the beginning we had plenty of regular ones, they just didn't do you any good. Lust.
Coming in.
Down the ramp. wheelchair-friendly dungeon.
Toward this floor.
Strength.
West. Someone else can have it.
It's mine.
Oh, there's the board. And of course I grab all three.
I've come to help.
Shaded.
Rye, strength.
Ribbit!
Affluence.
With a dragon after me.
All strength. We don't waste
Yeah, he went to dodge his fireball and suddenly was at the bottom of a well. There's another dragon in here. And a mimic!
it. Of course.
Green for the horns.
Lust.
Lust. And which?
Stealing.
Steal. I'll take it.
You do said thing.
Mimic.
Indeed, I can see it bouncing from here.
They dropped us over.
Hate it when I forget to do that.
My armor went up.
Lust, lust, lust.
Message is active. Another silver.
My arms went up.
Yay! Yeah, we're now above, our level number is now higher than your aether pool, so you should be gaining fairly consistently now.
Yeah, I'm currently
Now that
at
we're finally
82,
getting real
83.
silvers again. Yeah. Just in time for the boss. Now, you'll probably also get...
Everyone, you want to actually stay towards the center and bring her into the center? And watch your AoEs.
Yep. I think the first one's not so bad, but remember how badly we fumbled
Yeah.
that was a comedy of errors right there.
Ooh, yes.
That's right, be confused.
decide your healing isn't good enough.
Well, it's not. I fully admit this.
And I don't think I have the energy for another set.
Okay, we'll call it here then.
Still went 4 rounds. 4 rounds of chaos and confusion.
You've been kind of on the downslide all day, so this surprises us none.
7 sacks.
Up to 6 mimics, 16 explosions, good lord. 6 toad traps and 2 player KOs. What was the other player KO? That's right, Tate died.
Oh, we started... Yeah.
You started it, yeah.
Junk all the way down.
Yep,
It's
pretty
Iron
much.
Sacks. What do you want?
4 sparklers, 1 clear demi materia, and a piety 4.
Survival hat. Sparkler. Reaches of casting. Razor of maiming. Expeditioner's tabard. Prism. And I'm out. With 1 thing left to go.
The mithril eye. Still not a gold star.
Expeditioner's gloves. No. You keep that thing away from me. I don't trust it.
At the little treasure chest.
The mimic. That's a mimic. I know a mimic when I see one. It has teeth.
We need a carbuncle carriage.
Yeah, that's one of the few things that'd be better than this.
Well, that was fun.
Yes.
And to think, next week is going to be all the death.
Yep, brand new.
Maybe.
It'll be
There may be death involved.
it'll be brand new, us figuring out brand new tactics and starting with no aether pool. That'll be exciting. Well, I always like the Japanese trope of you open up a chest mimic and there's all its organs just laid out.
Yeah.
Ew!
Yeah. I think you know. TMI.
Yes.
Too many internals.
What? Are we playing Starfleet Battles now?
That would be preferable. Poor
Yes,
Patch. You
yes,
got
it
you got
is,
something of a
Lysy.
headache from the start of our scenario a couple weeks ago.
Oh no, did Patch take a ton of internals?
We all did.
Oh.
Because this is the one where, you know, the idea is it's late in the Four Powers War. The Hydrans are basically putting together a task force for a counteroffensive, and to kind of hide it, they start gathering in the system of a somewhat unstable star, because all the emissions from that will mask what they're doing. Well, the Lyrans catch wind of it anyway and send in a fleet to take care of this concentration they've found out about. And just as the battle starts, the star goes supernova.
Ooh. So everyone's limping.
So, when I originally showed this scenario to Patch as one of the upcoming historical scenarios for where we are in the timeline, he was going, nope, too many ships, don't want to play it. Then I started reading the terrain effects and he was going, okay, this I gotta see. Because Supernova, basically you take like 4 or 5 other terrain types and combine them.
Oh boy.
Because the map is considered, basically the far edge of the map is the true wavefront of the supernova, which, you know, advances 1 hex a turn. In the middle of the turn. Is considered a heat zone, which means if you have shields down, you take 1 internal, like every 8 impulses for every shield that is down. Is a radiation zone, which means if you have at least 1 shield down, every 8 impulses you lose 1 crew unit. It is considered a nebula, and the depiction of nebulas in Star Trek II and how they are in Star Trek battles is fairly close. Minimal shields only. You get randomly shuffled around three times a turn, as in your facing and your location changes.
Right, because of all the shockwave.
Yeah. And turbulence and so on. As a supernova, you basically draw cards, 2 cards each impulse, and those become quote-unquote asteroids, which go screaming across the map at speed 20, which is to say warp 2.7, which is basically debris being ejected by the star in advance of the shockwave.
Okay.
And it does what's what the equivalent of a pulsar burst every 20 impulses.
Oh no. And you're supposed
a
to fight a battle in the middle of this?
Yes.
And not just run for your life?
Well, the idea is you will be leaving, and if you don't, you're never leaving. You know, you're hoping to do more to the enemy on the way out than you take. So the pulsar burst is basically a thing where, you know, depending on how far away from the wavefront you are, is a certain percentage of its damage. And it's 1d6 times 10 base damage. And at the ranges we start at, we take half of that. The thing is, on impulse 32 of turn 0, i.e. the last thing that happened before the game officially starts, there was a pulsar burst that has an assumed die roll of 6, which means we took 30 points through the facing shield, which, okay, yeah, we can kind of handle that. Those flank shields should be around 20 points. Oh, wait, we're in a nebula. That shield is only good for 5 points at the moment.
Oh no.
That's where all the pregame internals came from.
Ow!
Each ship was taking 21 to 23 internals, depending on its batteries available for reinforcement.
Ow! I could just see the mock-up chart.
I can show you the SSD package. My cruisers did okay. I've got the hydrants. They have nice, solidly constructed ships with all the center hull. The destroyers less so. I've got one that is quote-unquote uncontrolled, which is to say all the bridge spaces are out.
Oh!
The bridge, the emergency bridge, and auxiliary control all went.
Oh!
I've got another one that lost its entire impulse deck. Its warp engine is perfectly fine, but impulse is out.
Ow!
Yeah.
Ow! Ow!
Yeah.
Ow!
And just rolling all those internals the first week, Patch got something of a headache. He's going, this is like work. And I go, yeah, this many internals is. This last Wednesday we got going on the game itself, which is going slowly as I figured it would, because we've got so many things we're not used to track with, all the various terrain effects. We've had the first nebula shift happen, which didn't do too much to me, thankfully, but really messed with Patch's formation.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And of course, he's trying to keep that down shield away from me and potentially the next pulse that's due in about 8 impulses now. And I'm going, well, I don't blame you, though, at this range and this amount of electronic warfare, effectively speaking, going on, I'm not going to hit you at this range, and sailing towards the wavefront of the supernova to do this is not the wisest tactical idea, I think.
Yeah, I personally, if I was a captain, I would simply just say, F the battle, I am getting ourselves out of here. I'm not even going to try and take these pot shots. I'm just going to try and survive.
It's going to be that. I mean, the scenario will probably, I originally thought the scenario, I was looking at it going, yeah, okay, we'll be crawling ourselves off the map. It'll probably last about 5 turns, which will go by slowly. And once I take another look at it and what all the terrain effects really mean, I'm going, nope, 3 turns tops.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah, the nice thing is, since I'm the hydrants, if I can get in close enough to have a decent shot of hitting, I have some Hellbore torpedoes. Those things automatically hit down shields.
Oof.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Patch.
Yeah, well, if he can get his act together, he's got a lot of disruptors. If he can get the hits, he can crunch through anything I can put up at our current ranges.
So, this begs the question, is the Postal Palace on fire yet?
Not in the middle of space, though. If there was one in this solar system, I think it's gone.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, it's a really unusual scenario. And I'm glad Patch said, yeah, I gotta see what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, it's just a crazy enough scenario that if you don't, you feel like you've missed
you'll regret
something.
it. And the designer's notes are purely, he designed this around the fact that he wanted to see this terrain, which you almost never use, in action.
Well, do you blame the designer?
Nope. That's why I'm playing the scenario.
Apparently there were a lot of salty tears this week. The lottery came in for the FanFest tickets, and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people did not get them. I didn't even try. My health is not in a position where I can go to something that large of a gathering, even though I think it would be really, really cool and fun. I would then probably spend the next 3 weeks laying in bed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For more reasons than one, really.
So, and people are already talking about scalping tickets. It's like, no, dude, just don't. It's like the housing lottery in real life.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do a digital version so that people who can't go live can at least enjoy some of the festivities. Like the main presentations, which is what everyone's really there for, let's be honest. I feel bad because I don't think there's any way I could enter any sort of art competition this time around. Because they're not doing it digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, opening and closing ceremonies. Maybe the Primals concert. See what sort of shitpost Zokin blesses us with this year.
That would be worth seeing. I would prefer to just get the primals, though.
The one I'm really bummed we'd miss out on actually happens a day afterwards, and you have to get separate tickets
Yes.
for, which is the
Yes.
actual full-on orchestration concert with the original Japanese orchestra.
Yeah.
Well, I was one of the winners last time. I wasn't one of the top 3. They had first, second, third place, and then they had a whole bunch of others for different categories. And I won for one of the categories, and I was fine with that, considering that it started out with something like 5,000 entries, and first round cut it down to 1,000 entries, and then I think it was 20 winners overall. But that's a huge entry pool to be fighting against. I won for the cute category with my Namazu. They were adorable.
Yes.
And I still show off my Paraserpent of Ronka with pride.
As well you should.
So, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to enter again, but I don't have anything really prepared. I technically have one pick that I was originally going to enter, and then I had to swap it out for the Namazu. But I really don't think it's of winning caliber, if that makes sense. It's kind of the last piece I did, and it's like, it's almost there to what I want, but it's not, and it's kind of painful, but I'm kind of done, so time to move on. It's not a bad piece, it's just, I feel like I could have done so much better than I was capable of doing. Yeah. And I need to get back on my animation, but it's kind of been paused again because my back is being cranky, and it's really hard to animate when your back's like, nope, not gonna happen, nope. But I'm determined to try and get that thing done before the next expansion drops. At least that's my goal, my dream. Well, it is after 11. Yes. Animation is hard on the back. And Tay is probably slowly turning into a pumpkin.
Pretty much.
I'm not sure it's slow.
I will purposely wait and not open the new place so that we can do it on air next week. How does that sound?
That
Alright.
sounds great.
So, we have a plan. We will follow it. Next week, Eureka Orthos! Dun dun dun! We will see you then. But hopefully we'll see you tomorrow too for the buns.
Yes. Darn straight. Bun Bun Story Hour.
Good night all!
Night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Have a good Sunday.